Memphis, we rank among the highest in the nation for preventable diseases. Hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, and the truth is, a lot of it starts on our plate. We talk about healing, we talk about prayer, we talk about working hard, but what we eat every day, that's medicine too. Today, we're getting rooted in the power of nutrition and why what we consume can either shorten our lives or save them. Ryan, welcome to Rooted in Wellness.
What's going on, Dr. Peete?
How you feeling today?
Feeling good. How you?
That's what's up. I'm doing good, man. What moment made you realize nutrition wasn't just a career for you?
Actually, when I saw the significant decline in our city from year to year of rising pre-existing conditions, but also the health decline as far as looking at society as a whole. I like to say I got into nutrition, becoming a transplant patient, of course. I donated my kidney about 13 years ago, and that sparked the glow and the flow of everything. But I would say maybe about 13, 14 years ago, looking at just the significant decline of health and activity decline in our city.
Okay, so what? Just kind of go a little bit more deep into it. What are some misconceptions that we most often are prone to?
Huge misconceptions in nutrition and health?
Yeah.
That eating healthy is costly?
Yeah, that's true.
It's not, though. Eating healthy technically isn't costly.
Well, what about that organic stuff?
Organic does not significantly have enough research info to actually state that it's healthier than regular fruit. Fruit is fruit, especially if you're coming from a stage of bad health anyway. I just need you eating better. You don't need to go into spending all your money. I need you to make better choices first.
Okay. Something that we were taught when we were growing up that are now kind of a challenge for us, what will be what? Is it? Do you feel like it's more like from what we were raised in, or just realizing what we did when we was younger was just bad?
Well, everyone's different. So, of course, you're dealing with not only the traditional aspects of growing up around in certain environments, and then the accessible the access that you actually have to certain things in certain neighborhoods. We know growing up, South Memphis, North Memphis, they didn't typically even have grocery stores in their area, or, they had to go more so closer to downtown. But it just depends. I'd necessarily say just break some of the habits, but it's very hard to break traditional habits that, bring us together as culture and family, like things like Thanksgiving and, a Sunday dinner. But we have to start watching our plate, but I would say, it's not necessarily specifics. When you know better, you should try to do better. I think the older you get, you should watch more of what's going on with your body, watch what's going on with your feelings and how you're feeling physically. But I won't say there's just a strategic thing that one needs to dial in on that we actually learn from being smaller. Our parents did the best they could with the best they had. So, getting us fed typically was probably what the goal was.
You right.
But, when you learn more about, as you get older, I think you should do better.
So when we're talking about Memphis in general and the black families, nutrition-related challenges, meaning more, why do preventable illnesses like hypertension or like diabetes and stuff and everything like that, why are they so high?
I won't say that it's a biological thing genetically. That is a big misconception. There's not enough human randomized control trials or research done specifically on African Americans or people of color structured based off nutritional values and health. Now, they do study preventative care things in black people. Of course, hypertension, diabetes, we run that. Unfortunately, especially in Memphis, 88%. We've always been top 1 or 3 or 5 as far as overweight. But I think it's more of societal and environmental. And those things that would go back to what we were saying, the traditional aspects of what we do on the norms, like the Sunday dinners, the going to Happy Mexican every Friday, wherever your favorite restaurant. I think, because, gathering with people of color is what we traditionally embark on. Of course, we're better. We feel more energy. There's more dopamine when we're together. So the things that are added to those and the places.
So we feeling like it's more like a more of a culture.
It's environmental. It's environmental
it's just
access. It's environmental access.
So it's like, so you're not saying this
Biologically, genetics, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Because if that was the case, then we have to understand the biological genetics on everything else. Physicality, they don't want to have that conversation.
Right.
LeBron James. But but I'm just saying they don't want to have that conversation. So because we have to play both sides if we're going to have that conversation. You cannot say significantly that black people or people of color have an indigenous genetic inferiority when it comes to pre-existing conditions. But then we have we are Shaq.
Ain't nobody look.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't say that. You can't go on both sides because we're gonna have to bring the physicality part in.
Yeah.
So I say because there's no human randomized control trial, and you know me, I am a case study person.
Yeah.
If there are no case studies, I don't want to have the conversation.
Okay. Like we're gonna do this a quick round of like facts or fiction.
Okay.
So pretty much I'm just gonna say something. You're just gonna tell me if it's real, fake news, something like that. Okay. So carbs are bad for you.
Fiction.
It's fiction.
Correct. Because fruits and vegetables are carbs. So we're saying apples and oranges and
technically
cucumbers.
You are right.
So I think the idea of understanding complex carbs, compound carbs, what things do to your body is the problem. We associate as a culture carbs with pasta, bread, pizza, things of that. Yeah, those are.
So like, okay, so when I say like a vegetable, say like a cucumber.
It's carb.
That's a carb.
Correct.
Okay, so
it's full of water.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Carb.
Would it be a simple or would it be
simple?
That'd be simple.
But because of the fiber content, scientists will argue that it's a complex because it's fiber.
Okay. So we'll go to the next one then. Healthy eating is always expensive. Kind of already touched on it a little bit, but just kind of give me a little bit.
Fiction, because you can go get. I always tell people, depending on if you go, and I'm not name dropping because they're not paying us, but Whole Foods versus Super Low. I can go get the same chicken. I can go get the same rice. I can go get the same green beans. I can go get the same sweet potatoes from either store.
That's true. Okay.
Now, the quality and how long it's been sitting out and how long you got to cook it may be different.
All right.
But no, that's not the case.
All right, supplements can replace real food.
No, nothing can replace real food. And
okay, kind of go.
So supplementation is exactly what supplementation is exactly what the word is. Supplementation. We actually had a conversation about this the other day with some farm MDs about hydrolyzed supplements because just say, for instance, beetroot powder, right? Helps with circulation, of course, blood flow, blood constriction, vasodilation. Would you think they have to break the beet down, dry it, dehydrate it, and then put it in a capsule?
Right.
Why wouldn't I just eat the beet? Not saying that this doesn't work, but the source in its rarest form, of course. So I believe no supplementation, of course not. Now if we get into peptides, which that's a different conversation.
Yeah. So
that's a different conversation.
So that's what you're saying is.
But as far as food and supplements, you cannot go get an apple supplement and go or greens. What they like those true green supplements versus going to get celery, greens, spinach. No, it's no comparison.
So the more processed it is.
It's
you're losing
the lack of
more.
validity. Yeah,
okay,
correct.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna get to this last one. Black people are only more prone to certain diseases because of genetics.
Fiction.
It's fiction.
It's fiction.
Sure.
It's culturalistically unprovable.
Okay.
Again, you have to go through the case studies. There are things like Henrietta Lacks and, of course, the Black Tales and all those books that actually study. But they only studying the pain aspect. That's why they believe, and now we know, black women can take more pain than any person on the planet. But that has nothing to do with pre-existing conditions. Now, because of the culture, because of the area, because of the dynamic, because of industrialized things around certain black communities, do we inherit them faster because of access? Yes. Are they the same in our body as others? I don't think we have enough data to argue that, but I think because of the traditionalized things that we have and we eat is our problem.
Okay.
But because if we're talking about people of color, Hispanics, diabetes, they right there with us. So
Would you so this is just a side thing I'm gonna say then.
mm-hmm.
Would you put that more because of food desert situation?
Correct.
Okay.
Shout out to Black Seed Urban Farms, because they are a part of creating free accessible food for people, because certain communities in Memphis have food deserts, and it's just the access. Like if you're going to grocery stores, you've seen South Memphis, they've been going through so much stuff is gone now. The Kroger gone, so kids and parents have to go to corner stores and try to grab things with what they have, because if they don't have transportation, it is what it is. So I think it's the circumstances in the situation.
So like stuff like Dollar Tree.
Correct.
Correct.
A lot of processed foods. Yeah. You see they got all that. Yeah. And that's what we have to choose from, unfortunately, because of the circumstances in certain areas that we're actually in. But that's a conversation for, our beautiful mayor. I love Paul.
Shout out to Paul. Shout out to Paul. So if someone was watching right now and feels a little bit overwhelmed right now,
mm-hmm.
what does a realistic health day look like for them? Just like just on a normal day.
Being practical, I believe the problem is most people try to get it right the first time, or they try to get it, as perfect as possible.
Right.
And, even us, when we went down our bodybuilding phase, we know everything can't even be perfect in that aspect. Nah. You're going to have off days. I believe the best way to actually approach a healthier lifestyle is to know what you need to stay away from versus know what you need to buy.
So it'd be like, I got a bag of chips right here.
Stay away.
I got a banana.
Try.
Okay. I got an orange here.
Try.
I got a nice little donut right here.
Stay away, but within moderation.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people know what they're not supposed to be eating. Especially like with all these TikTok. You saw the what's the no bake cheesecake?
Oh, yeah, the no bake cheesecake.
And I'm not saying you can't do that, but you ate the whole bowl. It's gluttony. It was at least 3,700 calories. It's a week worth of food for some people. Now, we bodybuild. That's what we eat. We eat 3,700 calories, 4,000 calories a day.
A lot of people don't even realize that so if I was going to Chick-fil-A right now, shout out Chick-fil-A, go get a chicken sandwich, fried, even get that lemonade.
1,700 calories.
You're right. It's about 70. That's
almost 2,000.
That's a whole day.
That's
meal
a whole
right
day for certain
that's
people. If we cutting, what we doing? We doing about 1,500, 2,000 calories?
If that.
So I believe also a lot of people don't know what they are supposed to actually have as far as a calorie density perspective during the day for a structure. I use things, or, I try to use everything my clients use. Like they asked me, does my Fitness Pal work? So I tried it. It actually works very well with tracking. Now, when it told me what I was supposed to eat, it told me that I was supposed to eat 800 carbs a day. That's ridiculous. But, it was basing it off our muscle density.
Right.
So, of course, I think it's good for tracking just to know where you are, to know like, okay, cool, I actually got almost to my protein today. Ooh, I had maybe just right at enough fat today. So it gives you good tracking points. I believe people just don't know, from their perspective, where they need to start. But a lot of people know certain foods that they're not supposed to eat. You don't have to eat fried chicken every day. Like you know that. Why do you have spaghetti and lasagna on your plate? You know that's not supposed to happen. I think.
Where you going? Did you seeing that?
Well, I belong to several organizations in this city. Shout out to Cigna, MLGW, Shelby County Schools Matter, St. Jude Methodist, they all mine. Okay. So I get to go see what they're eating for lunches, and people pack because they're going to be at work for all day. So they pack for the day, hopefully trying to get 2 or 3 meals in while they're doing 12, maybe 14. During this ice storm we just had, they were doing 18-hour shifts. Right. So people were bringing food, and they bring what they feel or think is going to stick to them. It's just we don't have a lot of education on the matter of what they should understand. Easiest habit?
Just one thing.
The easiest habit, cost friendly, getting the amount of water you're supposed to have a day. Because that also creates satiation.
Okay, so I want to go ahead and just kind of eliminate this whole fiction. Is a person supposed to drink a gallon a day?
Is every person the same size?
No.
There's your answer.
Okay.
So I always tell people, I use this analogy, I've used it before. Are me and Shaq gonna drink the same amount of water? Shaq is 3 times a human being than me.
Right.
And also I have one kidney. I need more water.
Okay.
So, it depends on the circumstances. But here is a rule of thumb. The body is 70 to 75% water.
Right.
At least get 70 ounces. At least. If you want to go over, great.
So 70 ounces will be how many bottles of water?
Depends on what size bottle. If you get one of those big old essentials, they have a 70.
Right.
And you can run through it. But I would say if you can get at least 5 of these in a day, you're doing great. And it's going to progressively grow because as you become more hydrated, your MBR is going to change. Your metabolic rate is going to change. So your appetite is going to go up. But because now you're getting water, complex compound carbohydrates, good protein, of course, that needs to break down in your body, satiation is going to happen and the food is going to begin to be utilized and fueled in the tools of cars. As we know, protein going to go where it need to go, carb going to need to go where it go, fat's going to be utilized how, versus you not having enough water and the food is just sitting.
It's just sitting right there. What's kind of advice for a family on a budget?
Bare necessities of what you need that actually works well for what your taste buds like. Because a lot of people like to introduce, okay, great, we're going to start eating healthy, but they give them stuff that they're not even interested in. That's why a lot of people aren't educated on, understanding what food actually is healthy. We can make anything healthy, it's just, of course, with moderation, but it's about finding what works and what you like. Because I hate telling people to go buy a lot of food I've seen people get programs and they tell them, okay, this is what's on the program. This is what we need to buy. And they end up throwing a lot of food away because they actually don't like the food. If a person has never had cod, don't put them on cod. If they like salmon, show them 4 different ways they can eat salmon. Salmon tacos, we can do, what I'm saying? We made some healthy salmon egg rolls the other day. Fire. Like, it's different recipes. You have to just get creative and you have to rope people in from where they are. If this person is used to eating a certain way, kind of try to mimic the diet. But, from a cost-friendly perspective on a budget, it can, we got to get to the basics as for depending on what they want. Of course, you got people that's vegan, you got people that, vegetarian. I think you can make it very simple and complex. Find you 3 proteins, 3 vegetables, and 3 fruits is what I always say.
Cost-efficient wise, I would think going to the frozen section for my vegetables or something like that.
Correct. Ain't no wrong with that. Clean them off.
Okay.
Let them soak.
Because 9 out of 10, if you go to the fresh produce section, you gonna sit there. It's gonna go down quicker.
It's gonna go down quicker, and it's ridiculous actually trying to pick through it and see, and that's people picking the better bushels, not realizing, okay, this looks better. The weight's different, so it may cost you $3, $5, $7 more. So frozen, exactly what you're getting. It's already weighed out. You can go clean it, and it's just easier. And typically, most of that stuff be on sale.
It's true. They do. All right. So, what does a balance actually mean? Like just a balanced diet.
Balanced diet, complete protein. Your chickens, your salmon, your shrimp, your ground turkey, your steak. I'm not a fan of pork, but if whatever.
Ain't nothing wrong with pork, though.
I've been off pork for 28 years, sir.
I only eat pork twice a year. If you want to be real about
it. And it has a great omega complex. It's just how I was raised. I'm not saying anything is wrong with it. Right. It has one of the greatest fatty acids in it. So it actually helps lipolysis. So it's a great protein fat.
But it's just overeating it.
Overeating anything is a problem. You can overeat chicken, it's gonna be a problem. You can overeat seafood, it's gonna be a problem. Because once you tip over the amount of calories you're supposed to have and you're actually not being physical, now we have a problem. But balance, I would say a complete protein, nice carbs, something like a sweet potato. Rice is not your enemy. Jasmine rice is fine. Basmati rice is fine. They have, and probably a green veggie is a complete meal, which with, of course, your water. So I say protein, carb, vegetable.
Okay. So this is me kind of going back to the veggies and stuff and everything. So if we talking veggie-wise, we looking at what? Spinach.
Well, you can go crazy with spinach. We can go crazy with vegetables, period. I don't know if you remember I did that little, those reels I was doing. You can eat more green vegetables than any other carb and still get your, you won't exceed your calorie density. Like, of course, cabbage, spinach, red cabbage, of course, that's your friend. Right. You got arugula, you got romaine, you got butter lettuce. There's
Okay.
so many different things, and you can go up in your ounce and weight with those and not exceed over your amount of calories. Actually, on my Instagram page, I have maybe like 4 specific posts that dedicate to all different green carbs that you can do a cup or 2 cups of and still go be under 100 calories.
Okay. What kind of legacy are you trying to build through nutrition here in Memphis?
I want to leave a legacy of a better understanding with nutrition from a clinical, therapeutic, and holistic perspective. The educational system that we were given was little to none, even as far as not pitting at the point, but we see what has happened in the last 2 to 3 years with, Robert Kennedy taking over, now sending doctors back to learn nutrition. I think it needs to be more embedded in understanding to rope with preventative care. You cannot treat, diagnose, and heal someone without understanding how what they are putting in their body impacts everything else that's going on around them. So I'm trying to leave just a better educational system from all aspects, like I said, in emergent care, preventative care, home health care. That's why I'm going around the system from EMT, paramedic to firefighter to nutritionist to nursing.
Okay. So
I want to be the most qualified guy is what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. My grandma told me don't be able to be told no. So that's what I'm saying.
So if everybody applies pretty much what you're teaching the next year, what kind of shift do you see happening here in Memphis?
I can see some great shift, a shift of responsibility and consistency for sure. But if you follow through and understand that what you're doing is not necessarily the benefit of right now, but what's to come. And that's the most of the people's problem. They looking for those
quick fix.
And it didn't happen quick.
No,
so
it didn't. So we talking about like the microwave.
Correct. Which I don't believe in. I'm not a fan of these 15 to 30 day turnaround plans. Not saying some people can't do that. Not saying some people can't master a program that actually pushes that. I push longevity and I preach longevity. We want to be around for a long time, not for a summer. Memphis needs, more educational access to all things dealing with health, not just nutrition, being that I am a community and public health advocate and servant, been with Memphis Fire Department for 10 years, over a decade, coming up on 11 years, Special Operations Rescue Team, Air Rescue, Tennessee Task Force, Urban Search and Rescue.
Man, you going down the list now. You got a lot going on, man.
But I say because that environmental access has allowed me not only to see people in an emergent care aspect, but a home health care aspect. So I see it all the way around, and it's the reason that I actually have wrote my business in the dynamic way that it actually is, being accessible from a nutrition perspective, but also from a clinical perspective. That's why I'm back in nursing, doing healthcare management, and hopefully, we're going right into FNP and Psych MP.
So exactly how can people get in touch with you?
With me, of course, yourfavoritenutritionist.com.
Okay.
You can go there on all platforms, Your Favorite Nutritionist, or you can Google my name, Ryan Zuber. There's going to be about 15 interviews on the news that will pop up that will lead you directly to me. Plug.
Today's conversation reminds us that wellness is not a trend. It's a responsibility to our bodies, to our families, and to our future generations. When fueling our bodies and protecting our health, we protect our culture. Thank you, Ryan, for coming in and pouring into the community today. And thank you for coming to Rooted in Wellness.
Yes, sir.
All right.